Good evening. Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great night. This is Anonymous Live 56. Can't believe we've been going for 56 episodes already. Looking forward to diving in with you guys tonight. Couple of announcements right up top while we're waiting on people to come in. I will be doing a live stream here tomorrow. Do not miss the live stream tomorrow. This live stream tomorrow has been in the works for over a year. It's taken me a year to get to it in part, and then the organization of it has taken several months because both of my guests are so busy that it took months just to get them on the same day. And that day is tomorrow. I'm super excited. I made a community post about this earlier today, so if you forget this announcement, you can check the community tab on my channel for the times. But tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, I will have here on the channel Dr. Richard Elliott Friedman and Ronald Hendel. Dr. Richard Elliott Friedman has become a good friend of mine, and he is a badass, to say the least. He is badass is the worst term. I'm using my own vernacular. I should use proper terms. He's a Bible scholar. He's the leading Bible scholar as far as the Torah goes. So the first 5 books of the Bible. I know a lot of people tune out as soon as you say the Bible because people think you're selling something or they want you to convert your religion or something. That is not the point of this stream tomorrow. The point of this stream is so much more than the sum of the parts of the Bible, which is the Bible is the world's first history, that is to say. So this will be a historical live stream, an educational live stream. I've got a bunch of questions that I've been cataloging for a few years that will come to a head tomorrow. And I'll either look like a total fool in the presence of these scholars, or some interesting answers may come about. Who knows? Richard Friedman knows the Torah as far as the etymology and the language and what's in it goes. As far as that goes, he's the leading authority on that subject. And Ron Hendel is an anthropologist who specializes in the time of the Torah. So, an anthropologist who specializes in ancient Jewish culture, early Hebrew language, and all that. So I'll have with me 2 people who can either make me a laughingstock or answer some good questions. And it should be entertaining and interesting either way. So don't miss tomorrow. That'll be awesome. I've been looking forward to it for a long time. So that's the first announcement. Second announcement, I'll be in Toronto, Canada this weekend for Buffer Festival. If you are not able to get to Canada, I completely understand. I realize it's a hike for certain people, but if you're in the area and you want to go, it's not too late to go. I will be there. If you ever wanted to see me in a suit, I'll be in a suit, for crying out loud. There's going to be a gala and everything, so they told me I have to bring a suit. I'm like, all right. He told me I have to bring a suit. I'm not going to be the clown that shows up without one. So if you've ever wanted to see me in a suit, or see me IRL to prove I'm not a bot, there's joke number 2. Goodness, I'm on a roll. I'll be there in Canada this weekend. So looking forward to some Tim Hortons and a lot of A. 3 jokes. What in the world is going on tonight? All right, guys, lines are opening. Announcements are out of the way. Could not mention both of those things because this is my first festival appearance in several years, and also this stream for tomorrow with Ron and Dick. Sorry, Richard goes by Dick. Don't tell him I told you that. He goes by Richard publicly, and he might not like it if you call him Dick. He might get offended. I call him Dick. Sorry. But yeah, that stream has been in the works for some time. I've been talking with Dick about doing it for a couple years, and it's just finally coming to a head. So those announcements are out of the way. Very excited for both of those. And I will also take a second to say, while lines are opening, that the video I will be premiering at Buffer Festival. Not only will you get to see me in a suit at Buffer Festival, should you come, you will get to be one of the first to see a video I've been working on for over several weeks now. Very excited about this video. Hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of hours at this point have gone into this video on my part. Very excited. It is finished as of today. I'm applauding that I'm done with it because it's been a long time in the making. But it's done now. It's done right now. But I can't show you. I couldn't show you right now. Even though I want to, I can't show you because it has to premiere at Buffer Festival. So if you're planning on coming to Buffer Festival, you'll get to see it this weekend. I can't show you, even though I wish I could. You're going to have to wait till the end of next week. So I'm sorry. But it'll be great. It'll be worth the wait. Okay, so now announcements are out of the way. Lines are officially open. And we have a number here you can call. If this is your first time here on this stream, that was a lot of announcements up top for us, usually speaking. And a lot of jokes. But this is a very different place. If this is your first time here, this is a place where we're going to be taking anonymous callers for the next 2 hours. Some calls are coming in. I'm just going to set this up real quick because a lot of people still are surprised when they stumble upon this stream. This is not entertainment. This is not entertaining. This is a listening circle, if you will. It's kind of like a digital friend. We create a safe place here for people to share about difficult things they're going through, or to confess something, or to use the chat and me as a sounding board. So if you want to join us, we'll be here just listening to calls from anonymous callers. Anyone can call in. We have no idea what people are going to talk about. We don't screen the calls. The only request is that you remain completely anonymous, no names, no locations. If you do reveal a name or a location, you get toasted. It sounds like this. And that means I hang up on you. It's for the protection of the callers, to make sure that their anonymity is intact. You know, should they decide years later they don't want what they shared on the internet online and attached to their personality, you're completely safe here. So that's why we toast people. I missed a couple calls during that setup, but lines are open, and I will stop talking now. So we'll just sit here for a second. And some calls are coming back in. Hello, thanks for calling.
Hey, hi, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you tonight?
I don't know. I guess I'm getting through. I got through today, and it's just kind of, I've been kind of going day by day with the things that I have to do.
Okay.
So I heard this is a place I could, I guess, like, share, kind of like group, kind of like a group, I think.
That's right. Can we start with your age and a brief intro?
Sure. I am 23. I'll actually be 24 in September. And I used to be a welder, and now I am actually working in pharmaceutical manufacturing.
Okay. Big career change.
Yeah, it's really, I don't know, I guess I actually got into welding kind of out of the blue, and I just kind of like fell into it. And I thought, when my original job title was robotic welding operator, and I never really thought that that was something I could do. Not even just as a girl. I mean, all I thought I was going to do was like push a button. And when I finally got the job, I actually couldn't really believe it. I was actually going to get taught how to use a welding gun and everything. And long story short, it was one of the best experiences of my life. One of my favorite jobs. And I had to leave it because of an incident that was going on between an 18-year-old girl and a 32-year-old man. And I ended up reporting it, and this particular guy, had been having a lot of like situations happen between females and was starting drama. But I had seen him, she was telling me about a situation that happened between the two of them where they were just sharing a moment and he kind of kissed her. And in the moment she thought it was fine, but during the working hours, he would kind of blow up her phone and try to like tell her that, you know, we should be dating. Oh, I want to kiss you again. It was making her feel uncomfortable. So she didn't feel comfortable to tell the supervisor. And so I went to the supervisor. And when I came back to my desk, like my table where we do all of our work, I saw him approach her and get right up into her face, almost stepping on her shoes. And yeah, I reported that incident to my supervisor, and he told them to that we weren't allowed to like talk to him anymore, and so on and so forth. But I guess the next day he continued talking to her, and nothing was done about it. I don't know.
So you stuck up for your friend. Your friend got an unwanted sexual advance. Is a kiss overtly sexual? I'm not sure there's probably a better word. It's definitely sexual misconduct in the workplace. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's like nobody was molested or anything like that. I'm trying to figure out what would you say is the best term for what you witnessed? It sounds like you agree with my characterization, but is there a better way to describe it than what I just said?
I almost think it was like, I mean, as a woman, as any woman in manufacturing, you know, it is like this huge fear, even with the men in manufacturing, like, between, like, you know, sexual harassment, because these days sexual harassment will get any man fired just in, you know, it just takes somebody to say that. And so, but, you know, she was, yeah, like, I think it would be harassment. I would think it was definitely
Yep.
like sexual harassment.
That's the word. That's the word.
Yeah. And it was really kind of sad because this job, like, this particular company, they were hiring new people. And yeah, like, and she had such a passion when she first started. I think that's what kind of really sucked, was this passion and drive that she had behind it. And you know, after that situation, she actually ended up getting so stressed out by the situation that she started having a pain in her like stomach, and she ended up having like an ovary like explode or something. And she was in a great deal of pain. She was so stressed out. She was just so afraid of the backlash that any other, like, you know, employee might have against her. But, you know, I don't know. She ended up quitting, and I ended up being the only girl again, in that particular job. And like I said, it was the best job of my life, and I really enjoyed what I did. But it all got too much to me, and I put in a 2-week notice, and what do you call it? I resigned my resignation because I decided I wanted to stay and be a part of the change. And so on and so forth. And they ended up just accepting my application anyway, like my resignation. I had
Meaning
actually turned
they
down.
let you go. Meaning they let you go, even though you wanted to stay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see. I
um,
see.
yeah. And they kind of made it seem like it was because they were like asking me why did I want to go, and I told them during my exit interview, I said I want to go because I'm the last girl again in this shift, and after seeing this situation and how it went down and how it had affected all of us, because it really did. Like, he was basically like just talking crap about this one girl who did like him, um, and would like show off text messages to another girl, which caused problems between those two. Um, and I mean, even like there was a moment between like honestly, there was a moment between me and him when we had went out, and he made ended up doing the same thing, making the same types of advances with me at work, and I said no. Like, I was like, I don't like this. It was really sad because I was warning her about it, and she was like, and I didn't even say, hey, you can't not like the guy if you like him, but anyway, like, there are just all of these problems at work, and I said I just wanted to stay, um and I wanted to make sure that, like, I just wanted to push through it myself. And then they told me to go, even though I told them I also turned down my other job for it. They were basically like, well, the whole situation is resolved and she quit, which is not the case because she was actually texting me over Snapchat, like saying like no, but just because she wouldn't stand up for herself, um, they kind of got mad at me for pointing it out. But I mean, I quit my job because of this, and I don't know. I'm sorry. I mean, this happened like 2.5 months ago. Um, so ever since then, I've been without a job. I have a 1 bedroom. I do go to therapy. I go to counseling every other week, and I actually take DBT therapy on Mondays because I actually suffer with depression and anxiety and have type 2 narcolepsy. Um,
Hmm.
and it's I don't know. And I'm not
What's the difference
calling
between
to complain.
no, can you tell me the difference between
Oh,
type 1 and type 2 narcolepsy?
yeah, so like type 1, I believe, and don't quote me, but basically I have narcolepsy without cataplexy, which means that, so it's actually really interesting. I mean, it causes me to be tired all the time.
I see.
It's like just like, super exhausted. Like, I could sleep in order to get the amount of sleep that I need to get in order to get a restful sleep, I either need a very short amount or a very long amount. Um, but that's all, like, it's not really how your body really works. So you just end up getting tired all the time. It's basically the type of narcolepsy where you do not fall asleep out of nowhere.
Mm.
So like
Okay. Type
cataplexy.
1. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, no. Yeah, cataplexy, basically, like, people with cataplexy, they might black out or go, drop into that REM sleep whenever in a stressful moment or just overly sensitized, whereas a type 2 narcoleptic is without cataplexy, meaning that they can get like sleepier with high emotions, but they don't just fall into that REM sleep.
I see. So you're not your body with the kind of narcolepsy you have, you're never fully rested, it sounds like.
Never. And you know what? It's really funny because um I like it's I've always been a vivid dreamer. Like, every night I'll dream, like, and I dream in color and I dream vividly, and it's not necessarily like lucid every time. Like sometimes it's like very out of my control, and it just kind of seems like I am like living as a sim in a simulation that I cannot control. But it is definitely like my unconscious, but it feels so real to me sometimes. Um, and it's insane. I don't know. I just wonder. I guess I like listen to this. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if other people are like that, where maybe creative people are sometimes just are they vivid dreamers or I just wonder about that. It can be really unsettling, really weird being in touch with kind of a more spiritual or more like vivid part of you.
Yeah, I resonate with what you're suggesting. I'm fairly creative, and I have very vivid dreams, of course, but I don't dream all the time. Like when I dream, it's very vivid, and sometimes uh, vividly vivid, if that's possible. Uh, but
Yeah, no, I
but I
get
don't dream
that.
every night. So I'm not sure if that's helpful for you to pick up on or not. But I resonated with how you described that. So what would make this a good call? You're calling about sticking your neck out for a friend and being reprimanded for it. You lost your job. You've been without a job for a couple months. Uh, so are you okay? I'm guessing like you're under some financial stress. Are you looking for new work? What would make this a good call?
Honestly, I'm I got really nervous because this channel means a lot to me. I'll put it like that. And some things on I've seen on this channel and channels associated to it helped me through a time where I wasn't going through all of this, and where honestly I was feeling alone and like I didn't have security. And I would watch YouTube, and I would get into it, and it would help me get to that kind of safer place that I had inside of me. And so if other people feel this way, I hope that they also realize that they're not alone. Like, now I have a good job. I actually make $24 an hour doing something I've never done before, and it scares me, but I have the confidence that I'm going to do better. And I'm in therapy now, and that doesn't, that's not something I'm ashamed of anymore. And that's not something that I would ever regret. And
So you got another
even,
job? You do have a job? I thought you were without work.
oh, I was. I literally
Oh, I
this is
see.
my second day of this job.
Oh, okay. What are you doing?
Um,
Oh, that's right. You did tell us that you just changed. Remind me what it was. You were welding, and now you're welding. You were welding. It's either you're now welding or you were welding. That's the only thing I can.
yeah,
Sorry, I apologize. That's the welding stuck out to me because you mentioned it was not that you were kind of a minority being a woman in welding. So
yeah.
I can't remember which was then and which is now.
No, it's just funny because yeah, I was a welder, but now I am a chemical operator basically.
Okay.
Um,
How's
and
that going?
both of those things, it's going really great, like suspiciously great. I mean, they're a work in progress. I'll put it like, I had to get out of welding too because of the economy, like the metal shortages and everything. So there wasn't enough work, and that was just also more stress. But this job, I mean, I'm doing things that are going to help people. The chemicals that I make are going to save lives and assist in kind of like in the ability to cure people and help people. Um, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud that I'm somewhere making good money, doing something that I actually like. Like I loved manufacturing, and I also want to help, be a part of that helping change in this world. And I literally have a job that is going to do that for me. And after not having a job for 2 months, like, I was really scared I wasn't going to make it. Like, because of the stress and also because finances, I thought I was going to end up having to live out of my car that I can't even afford without my job, you know? I mean, and I don't have parents that'll help me pay for anything, and I keep on having to like ask for help, which is deeply like, it's okay, but I'm not used to it. Like, it's hard. I am actually in like trauma therapy basically because of my childhood. But I'm taking the steps now to do my best, and even still life knocks me down sometimes, but I guess, yeah, yeah, it's just strange. And I really hope, I guess, I really hope people don't feel, well, I mean, you can't ever stop people from feeling bad or terrible, but it's okay to cry. Like, it's okay to let it out. It's okay to say, I just can't do this right now, and to just take a nap. Um, and I want, like, I am doing what I want because I'm moving towards who I am. And that feels really good.
Good for you. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So what's on your mind? Because you opened the call by saying you were doing all right, and there was a downward inflection, if I recall, and and so what's on your mind tonight? I'm glad to hear the good news. I'm glad to hear you got work after 2 months of, let's applaud that. It was 2 months of no work, and now you got a great. Not only did you find work, you totally made a career shift. So applauding you for that. That sounds like a very difficult jump to land. But what's on your mind tonight? Because it sounded like there was something that was that you didn't say you were doing great. So what is it that's on your mind? Is it your friend that never got justice, or is it something else? Or
Honestly, it's everything. Like, everything seems so overwhelming. And I don't feel like I deserve any of these things, any of the good things. Um, I don't, I mean, there was an incident between me and a friend today where I just had a friend, like, I kind of, like, had a moment where my friend said something mean to me, and, kind of told me that they were being a specific way towards me I was, because they basically didn't want their lonely friends to feel lonely. And I've I haven't been able to like go out and do the things that I wanted to do or want to do because I don't have any money, and I'm literally living by the like money that I do make with like side jobs. Um and I mean, even still, I mean, I'm glad that I'm single. Like, I have good friends. I have family I visit. I actually have a puppy, a husky puppy now, um, and I'm happy. But it really hurt me because somebody I really looked up to as a friend kind of said something like that, which made me feel like, oh, well, maybe I'm just a miserable person, and maybe I'm actually am lonely, and from the outside, like, maybe I am this like sad, depressive, miserable thing that everybody kind of looks at and says, "Aw," you know. And that really, I kind of just got really down
so
about
you
that.
are sorry, were you finishing the thought?
Yeah.
I didn't want to cut you off. Um, Sounds like you have a lot going on in your life that's really good, and you have a friend. If I'm understanding, it sounds like you have a friend who is going through some hard stuff, who was sharing with you about that, and that rubbed off on you. Is that what it is? And it made you question what you have, or how people perceive you. Is that it?
Yeah.
So
Like
you
it
go ahead.
um like they always kind of message me like hey cutie or hi babe, and just like cutesy, like nice, like friendly, but sort of like more, it's kind of flirty. And they have a partner, and they're in a pansexual relationship. And I'm not trying to get into any of that, but I kind of felt weird because I knew that they had a polyamorous love, like they practice polyamory. And so I didn't know if they were trying to flirt with me or if they were trying to come on to me. And it was basically, they had said that they literally didn't want to, like, they wanted their friends who were lonely or like not to feel lonely and to be close to them even though they had no true partner. And I don't know, and they said, and I just kind of felt like, okay, well, are you just saying these things to me because I don't have a partner or a true partner, and so you think I'm lonely? And it kind of made me feel like really sad because I've been truthful my whole friendship with them, but it just made me feel like, oh, you're doing this because you think I'm lonely. And
Did
so
you
it
feel
really
like they were
hurt.
targeting you, or did it just make you, did it rock you because you felt like a target to your friend, like they wanted to get with you, or did it rock you because your your friend's perception of you is not what you thought it was?
Because of the latter, yeah, yeah, because I thought they were just, I thought that even if they, and honestly, even if they weren't, it would be fine. It would just be like, no, I was just kidding with you, like, or that's just the way I talk, dude, or, like, something to just dismiss it. But they didn't say that. So it was that their perception was different than what I thought it was, because I genuinely thought that maybe we were like friends and we saw each other as equals, but it kind of made me feel like they kind of looked down on me as somebody they needed to help. And that really hurt because I want them to just be genuinely them for their sake, because that's who I thought I liked them like for, like even as a friend, just the friendship by itself. Because there was never any physical, we've never done anything physical ever, never kissed, never came close to kissing, never ever been super close like that. It was always been a super platonic friendship and even a relationship. And so it just, do you understand? I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm making sense.
Did they, what made you feel looked down on? Why did they suggest you needed help, or what was it that made you feel looked down on?
Here, and um they said, so I just said, okay, so they said, for you to admit your feelings for me means so much to me. I don't mean to flirt, but more of like seeing you happy. I can't really hand any more partners right now, but I'm also would want to ruin what you have. And I said, thank you for clarifying. I just got mixed signals and got confused. And I would love that. I love that we're still friends. And he's like, I'd rather all my friends feel the comfort of having someone close without the isolation from no true partner, although I have few friends. And so I was just kind of like, and I said, I appreciate it, but I'm okay. Maybe I took it deeply due to my own feelings. I know I don't have a partner, but you don't have to do that for me. We can just be friendly. I don't know, that kind of hurts my feelings. And he
You
said, I
told them
don't
it
mean
hurt
to
your
hurt you.
feelings.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and I'm
Uh,
curious to hear how they responded.
oh, and then he just said that I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I guess a better way to put it would be that we're close friends, that you're a close friend and you mean a lot to me. I just can't do more partners right now.
Well,
And
it sounds.
so,
Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, no, yeah.
I mean, is it possible they don't look down on you? Is it possible they're coming on to you? Is it possible it's the opposite? Is it possible they're like, uh, I'm not saying this is I'm asking, is it possible that they're saying like they're putting on this front like I don't have any more room for more partners. I'm so sexually busy and preoccupied, but like I wish you had someone. Is it possible they're like trying to lure you in? Is it possible they're hitting on you instead of
I
looking down on you?
literally, I don't know. I don't
It seems like
know.
they're
And I
it
don't,
doesn't seem like they're looking down on you. It seems like it could be, I mean to me at least, it seems like it could be some kind of come on. I don't know if that makes you feel better or worse, but at least yeah,
it
I,
makes me feel both.
yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, and you know
Well, you
what,
don't
and I
have to get with them.
appreciate,
Even if they were coming
yeah,
on to you,
no,
you don't have to
no,
get with them.
right, and that's literally what I want. And so I was just, I mean, I don't know, and see, and so I really appreciate, I mean, I guess this is what I'm here to talk about, because it's like, I literally just, you know, I'm myself dealing with so much, as you already know. And so it's like, I just, I was just like so confused. And I think that it was a mixture of my own feelings and like my own, because I just felt like, oh, because he said, like, you know, he just, because it was for his friends. And I don't know. But then it makes him, and then he says, I don't know. I don't know if he's coming on to me. Because it's like, why are you coming on to me if you, and maybe it's just because I don't know I don't have a lot of healthy relationship examples in order to tell me if this is safe or not. And
Well, it
it's
doesn't sound safe
this,
either way. Let's take another perspective. Easy Cheesy from the chat, one of our mods had something to say from the opposite perspective that if let's say it's the opposite case, let's say they were not coming on to you. Let's say they were being honest. Let's say they really don't have any more room for another partner and they were literally just pitying you. If that's true, then in that case, Easy has something interesting to say. He says, sometimes people can project their feelings onto others, trying to fix others instead of seeing their own issues. So it's either that what you originally sensed is right. I mean, it could be a million things, right? Like, but it seems like the most two likely scenarios are that one, it's what you originally perceived, and they were kind of coming down on you. And if that's true, then you can't do anything about that. People are gonna do that. No, I mean, all kinds of people are gonna do that. The vast majority of people will do that. It's actually, in my opinion, it'd be a rarity to find people who don't project their feelings onto others and can filter out their own internalizations of things and not project them onto others. So if that's true, then what Easy says is right, that you just can't get hung up on that. People are going to do what they're going to do. There's a great book on that we can talk about in a minute if it's interesting to you. But
yeah,
my sense is that they were doing something worse, which is
yeah,
seems like they were hitting on you in a
right.
very underhandedly. That's what it seems like to me.
And that, yeah, because
Seems like
it's
they were saying
like
like,
I don't,
I can't really handle you, but I wish I could. That's what it sounds like to
and
me.
exactly, and it's
I'm
kind
sorry
of
to
like,
laugh at it, but it sounds
no, I
ridiculous.
think that's great. No, I think that's actually great because it's exactly, it would be very underhanded, and that's what made me so upset was that I'm happy with the way that our friendship is now, but I just wanted to know if they were, yeah, so like, it
And
is
that's
more of
unfortunate.
like, yeah,
If that's true, that would be unfortunate because that's the opposite intent of polyamory. Polyamory exists to curtail that whole thing of serial monogamy, where people get into relationships based on false assumptions and misinterpretations, and a
yep,
lot of people get hurt in serial monogamy because one person will think, "Oh, this person's committed to me, they love me," and then they'll get really invested, either sexually or emotionally or both. And then one person will pull out all of a sudden and be like, "Yeah, I'm not looking to be tied down," and then, like the truth comes out. And that's what polyamory actually stands to solve. And I'm not saying it's perfect. I don't actually know, but that's what the philosophy behind polyamory is. It's like we're that community exists, and a lot of people who I've heard talk from that community say like that's why we are polyamorous, is to be upfront with people about the fact
Yeah.
of upfront about our intent. And so somebody who's doing that underhandedly, I would, uh, yeah, it sounds like either way, you've got a lot to think about with this person, which explains why you're confused about it and down about it, because you described them as a friend. I would say either way, it doesn't sound like this person is a very close friend. It sounds like they either don't get you, and they're your first option. It sounds like they either don't get you and they're projecting things onto you that don't exist, or they are being dishonest. It could be something else, but it seems like the two most likely possibilities.
Yeah. I really appreciate that because, yeah, and that even helps me feel more secure about how I felt in the first place. Because
Okay.
honestly, I love them as my friends. I love them for their happiness. I love them for the fact that I've seen them come so far and I've been able to come so far with them. And they've supported me through really hard times as friends. And just, I don't know. And I've been very open and honest with, like, yeah, I don't know. I've just been honest with a lot of personal things. Um, and I don't know. And so it does feel like I was kind of misled or led on, and like things were like, and even just his way of, it does make me feel more of an option. But yeah, I don't know, it just kind of threw me into a spiral because I started questioning myself and I started questioning, I mean, everything that like my perception all of a sudden changed, and I was just been 360.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to highlight one more thing from the chat, and then I'm going to mention a book. Um, and then I'll let you get on with your night. Of course, you can call back again anytime. But Amy the Ruiner, which is quite the name, I might add, says to you, the only thing you can do for your own mental health is to take people at their word. If the other person tells you they don't want a relationship, leave them alone. And I think that's true. I think that's mostly in line with your original concern that maybe they um, were looking down on you. And if that's the case, like let me be very clear. I've stated some opinions here. None of us know. I mean, like even you don't know. You're friends with this person and you don't know. So how could I know? All I can offer is a fresh set of ears to the situation. Um, but there's a great book on this thought that's kind of recurring here in this conversation. It's called The Four Agreements. Are you familiar with this book?
I think so. It sounds
You've read it?
familiar. I think I've seen it.
Have you
No,
read
I
it?
think I've seen it at the store.
You probably have. It's very popular. Um, it's very short, very easy read. Um, and I've read this 3 or 4 times. I read it every couple of years because it's such a great book, such an easy read. It's written by Miguel Ruiz. I'm putting the Goodreads link for you in the chat right now. This is a great
Okay.
book. I won't walk you through the four agreements and what they are, but this is a 4-chapter book. There might be a fifth chapter that's like an outro or something, but it's basically 4 chapters about 4 agreements that you make with yourself for situations like these. Um, and again, I've read this book 3 or 4 times. I read it. I will continue to read it every few years, probably until I've either memorized it or am dead. Uh, it's such a great book. The Four Agreements. It's not a self-help book. It's like It's like a philosophical book. Goodreads link is in the chat for you. Um,
Awesome.
I hope this was a good conversation. I don't know exactly what it is you need, but I'm glad to hear that you've made some progress with your work, even though it ended kind of unnecessarily. Sorry to hear
Hey,
about that part of it.
it's completely okay. Honestly, this made my night. You're awesome, and thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the support, the kind words, and appreciated the conversation. Appreciated you being real. You shared a lot of stuff tonight. It seemed a bunch of people in the chat resonated with what you shared, so you might revisit the chat tomorrow when the chat replay is published, and you can go through there and pick and choose what's helpful to you in your situation. You can call again anytime.
Awesome. Can can I say one more thing and then you can hang up?
Sure, as long as it's not your name or
Jellyfish.
location. That would be unfortunate for you.
Yeah.
I always get nervous. Like, what are they gonna? They want to say one more thing.
No,
I hope it's not a name.
No. It's just one word, and that's jellyfish.
Oh boy. Yeah, of course, Jeb. We need a jellyfish sound on the soundboard. What do jellyfish sound like? I wonder. I should just put this jellyfish
my
song
gosh,
in.
please. Oh, thank you. And that made my night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciated the conversation. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Beautiful. All right, chat. Lines are opening again. Thank you for your thoughts. Some good thoughts in there in the chat tonight. Oops, I'm moving my interface. Yikes. Be more careful, Julian. Hello, thanks for calling. Hello? Toast. I had to toast you because there was some music playing, and I don't know what that was. Toast count 1. I can't have any music in this stream. If you're calling, make sure there's no music playing in the background. I'll get in trouble, guys. That's not good. I had to toast you. If you call back, turn your speakers off. We'll have a conversation. Hello, thanks for calling.
Hello?
Hello. Can we start with your
how's it
age
going?
and a brief intro?
Yeah, I'm just calling to talk about a couple things that have been happening to me recently.
All right. How old are you?
32. Actually, no, I just turned 33 the other day.
That's around the age where you lose count.
Yeah, right.
That's not even a joke. It's for real.
It's true. I've definitely encountered some age-related difficulties.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
What's on your mind?
Well, I mean, so recently, about 6 months ago, started to have some health issues, and sorry, I'm a little nervous. I didn't actually think the call would go through, but anyway,
take a second if you want. Take a second, take a breath, whatever. Take a second.
Okay, thanks. No, I'm good. I just, like I said, I had some health issues come up recently about 6 months ago, and before that, everything was going really well. Like, my job was going well. I had a girlfriend that, was, I was just absolutely in love with, and it's just like, I mean, I was good with my family, and I'm also a recovering addict as well, so I was, 3 years sober. Well, still am, technically. But anyways, so I started having to go to the doctors to see what was going on, and, couldn't really get a straight answer, but I knew it was, like, affecting me because I couldn't go to the gym. Like, I was having issues with my blood pressure and energy level, things like that. And eventually, I went to one ER, and they said that my liver enzymes were high, and so they did some other testing, and it turns out I had some issues with, like, my heart as well. And so it was kind of hit me like a ton of bricks, like, got something wrong with me, but I don't know what it is, and the doctors don't seem to know either, but they know there's something wrong with me. And from there, I went and had more testing done, testing for cancer and different things like that, the basic stuff that they'll do. And they couldn't really find a whole lot wrong with me, other than they said that something's wrong with my liver and something's wrong with my heart. So, I decided to just keep working and taking everything, as it comes, as pace, and trying to find a doctor that I can see, which I eventually found one after I got insurance. And basically, well, it started getting worse. It got worse to the point where, like I said, I couldn't go to the gym, and I was having these bad headaches, weak, just a general feeling of, low energy. And I found a couple more things out, but it's ultimately not helped. And I don't know, it put a strain on, my relationship with my girlfriend, and she ended up breaking up with me. I also had one incident where I had my chest pains were so bad I had to go to the ER again. And I told my boss, I said, I got to go to the hospital, something's wrong. And I went and I stayed for a couple days, and I didn't have my phone at the time. And when I looked back at my phone, I realized my boss had called me the next day and was like, trying to get me to come in. And I told him, I was like, I'm in the hospital still. I'm getting out soon. I've gotten some medications to help with certain things for my liver or whatever. And I got one more specialist I'm going to go to see because they think that it's, I guess, an autoimmune thing or whatever. But so my boss didn't seem to care, so I lost my job. And yeah, for the past, I don't know, 3 weeks or so, I was kind of in like a depression. I didn't have any family to really help me, and like I said, the only person that I really loved and cared for, and I still do. I still love her so much. I do get to talk to her on occasion. And I'm lucky enough that she's still in my life a little bit, but it just felt like I lost everything. And then I've been through a lot of difficult things in my life, and it's normally not that big of a deal because you do that thing where you pick yourself up by your bootstraps and you keep moving on. But now I feel like, what's the point? I feel like I might not have a reason to keep moving on. It's like, it's just, not that I'm not suicidal or anything. Sorry, I don't want to give off that impression. I'm just sad because it's like, before I'll move on to the next thing. I'll get a different job. I'll find a different girlfriend, whatever. And now it's like, it seems like it's coming to an end because, like I said, every time I've gone back to the hospital, every time I've found another specialist, they can't find anything specific that's wrong with me, but my condition is getting worse and worse every time. I'm now at the point where I was 215 pounds and strong. Go to the gym every day, and now I'm 166 pounds, and I can't stand up for more than like 6 hours a day. And I tried therapy for a while too, because that kind of helped. But after a while, there's only so many times you can tell a story to someone and they just tell you the same thing. It's just, and well,
You've said a few things I want to touch on. I'm not going to be able to remember all of it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know.
No, don't be sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to do my best to touch on everything. But if I can butt in for a second and touch on a couple things you said that stuck out to me before we get too far from them. Who is the person in your life that left that you still feel lucky to talk to occasionally? Is it your ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, that's her.
Why did she leave?
Because it was just, she's really young. We kind of have like a pretty big age gap. It's like 10 years. She's 21 or 22 or something like that. And then it was just too much for her. she can't handle it. Like, you know, she loves me to death, but she, I guess, is trying to.
It doesn't sound like it.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, it doesn't. But it seems like she just doesn't want to. She doesn't want to, you know, she wants to separate herself so that maybe she doesn't feel as bad when, you know, whatever may happen. I mean, I'm hoping, I still have hope that I'm okay. I still have hope that I'm, you know, going to be okay, but.
I'm starting with maybe the worst thing. I'm starting with maybe the worst thing, but I'm trying to go chronologically so that I don't forget everything. Maybe that place is the worst place to dive in, but I mean, it doesn't sound like she loves you till death do you part,
well,
as the expression goes, you know. Like,
let me just,
like,
I should clarify a little bit, because so because of the fact that there's no name for a disease, or there's no concrete something that they can say, oh, well, you are going to succumb to whatever's going on eventually because of this. You know, everyone kind of thinks, oh, well, you're just, I don't know, you're unhealthy. Like, I know it sounds crazy. It doesn't make any sense. I can't believe it myself when I've literally tried to confide in everyone who I thought cared about me, and they think I'm being unreasonable. They think, I don't know. I don't know how else to put it. I mean,
I hear you that she's young, and maybe she'll have regrets about that later. Maybe she will, in time.
Yeah.
But the fact that, I mean, this is what I was getting at with that. It's not even the ultimate point that it's not even the ultimate question I had. It's the ultimate question I had is around how you feel about you. And I'm asking that for a couple of reasons, because you mentioned that you are losing drive in life. Of course, I want to be sensitive because I understand you've got some mysteries you're dealing with. You're dealing with medical mysteries. The doctors you're going to don't have the answers. You've been to therapists. The therapists don't sound like good therapists, the ones that you've seen. It's no discredit to you or diss on you. There are way more bad therapists than there are good ones, in my opinion, in my experience. So it can take a long time to find a therapist that can actually have something good to say, or give you the empathy you need, or give you tools you need. Same is true with doctors, although if there are a lot of good doctors, there's some bad ones too. There's bad everything.
There is bad everything, and I have seen that firsthand for so many institutions, pretty much every institution in America, you know. But yeah, it's I don't know.
But my question is, how do you feel about you? Because you mentioned you feel lucky that you still get to see this person who left you at your lowest point. Now, they may be young, and that might be why they left. But why is it you feel lucky? And this may sound like an insensitive question, but I'm asking, I'm pushing on something because I wonder how you feel about you. Because you mentioned you're feeling frustrated with life and down on life, and again, I'm asking very cautiously and sensitively because I realize what you're up against. I'm not forgetting that, but let's start there if you're okay with it. How do you feel about you?
I mean, honestly, through the beginning of it, and towards it's only been until, because I recently found another job. You know, I mean, I was forced to. I don't have any help or anything with pay bills, so I'm like, I have to get a job. Even though I'm having it's debilitating issue. Anyways, and so I found a job, and I feel better about myself. And I think one of the things my dad said to me, which was kind of insensitive, but he kind of said something along the lines of, I explained how it was difficult to try to figure out, the doctors were having problems figuring out what's going on with me, and And so he's like, well, he said, so what? So what if you are dying, then what? And I'm like, well, what do you mean then what? Then obviously I'm going to try to get treatment and try to get better. But I think, I feel like what he was trying to say was, well then what? It's like you can't stop living your life. You can't let things like this stop. I mean, if it becomes, inevitable, or I mean, if it becomes like something that's going to keep you from doing the things that you do, then yeah, but he's like, you're doing everything you can, and that's all you can do. And so that kind of, I don't know, it kind of made me feel better. And then, the thing with my ex, I feel like, because I never really had that many people that kind of had my back, and she's still, she's helped me out with some things here and there, she's given me rides and stuff like that, and, whether it's because she feels guilty or what, I still like that. I appreciate the help, because, I understand that, like, if you were my friend, like, where I'm at, and you had to see the daily things that have happened to me with me, having to go through, like, several ERs and stuff, you'd probably be like, wow, this is stressful. It's like every other week something's wrong with them, and, you can be there for someone, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm honestly, this is why I called, because, I can only have my perspective, and I don't even know what to think. I don't know if, maybe I should just, like, I don't know, maybe make some new friends or something. What am I saying? I always make new friends. I have a really cool little community that I hang out at where I'm at. I don't want to even say what it is because I don't want to get kicked off the line, or whatever.
Yeah,
but
no names, no locations.
Yeah, but they're really, they're really cool spots, and so I have been making some new friends, But I don't know. I feel pretty good about myself for where I'm at, But like I said, it's just this is tough, man. Like I want to figure out what's wrong with me, and I don't want my health to get any worse.
Maybe it's possible that you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it.
I'm arguing against myself here in saying this. Maybe it's possible that you are just really modest, and that's a good quality. So maybe you're just not letting on here. I picked up on words you used, like lucky, to see this person that broke up with you at a really low moment in your life. And I picked up on those kinds of things. Maybe I shouldn't have zeroed in on that. I still don't know. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what it is that you're feeling. But I mean, like, are you, if I can ask another question that might be a rabbit trail just to better understand at least which direction not to go down. Are you, can you name some things that are valuable about you in a relationship?
That have value to me in a relationship?
How were you valuable in that relationship when your girlfriend left? What are some things your girlfriend lost out on?
Well, I mean, I like to think I'm a really nice, fun guy, I'd always take us out to do different things, She didn't seem to really, like, she's a fun girl, but she didn't, like, know a lot of things to do, so I would take us out, do, like, karaoke. Like, I remember the first night I did that, she absolutely dreaded it, and I was just like, nah, come out, we'll have fun, and I got up on stage and sang, and it was funny because there was, like, this table of girls that were, like, they're all into it, and they're screaming my name, and the DJ looks at me, he says, take your shirt off, and I was like, what? And he's like, the girl said, take your shirt off, and I'm like, nah, I'm here on a date, I'm good. And he's like, well, screw it, I'll take mine off, and he takes his shirt off, and I'm like, no, dude, oh my god. I finished the song. The song was it was a Duran Duran song. Rio, that's what it was.
Oh yeah, everybody takes their shirt off to Duran Duran.
And anyway, so yeah, and then after that, like, she was totally into it, and she got on stage and sang one of her favorite songs, and it was fun, and I showed her stuff like that. We'd go out and do different dates and things like that, and I always, I supported her. I supported her through a lot of stuff because she had a lot of issues with, like, her parents and stuff. Mainly the fact that, she just, like, moved out, and she still had that, like, I need to make my parents happy, otherwise, this can't be, like, either our relationship can't be, or this job can't be, or my friends, things like that. And I talked her through a lot of that and try to make her realize, like, you can't live your life for your parents, because that's not going to make you feel any sense of, like, it's going to be a shitty life, Sorry, I didn't mean to curse, but and then also, what else? I had some more stuff.
Oh no, that's a good start. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're not down on yourself. It just seemed curious to me and a couple people in the chat who were listening that this girl left you at a really, I mean, there's no getting around it. She left you at a really lousy time. Now, maybe her age has something to do with that. And if you seem very gracious, at the very least, you seem very gracious in your characterization of that. So, maybe we're just, we don't know you, and we don't know her. So all we know is what you're saying. And maybe we picked up on some things that were not the full picture of what's going on. If we can turn for a second to some other things, because I don't want to forget the main reason that you opened up for the call, which was your health. You've got all these mysterious medical conditions, and of course, I'm not a doctor. Of course, I'm not even a psychologist or like, this is not a substance.
The only thing that's mysterious about it, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the reason, it's frustrating, I know, but I can just say it's cut to, there's something that's causing issues with my heart and my liver, but they just don't know what it is. But it is, whatever it is, it needs to be figured out.
Are you eating foods
sorry,
that are...
I apologize again.
No problem. Are you researching foods that are good to eat for your liver and for your heart?
Oh yeah.
Are you eating? I've heard grapefruit's good for your liver. Are you eating grapefruit? Are you eating what else is good for your liver that I'm forgetting? I know grapefruit's really good. Nuts.
Milk thistle. There's a lot of things that are. But the problem with the liver is it is very regenerative. Like, you can cause lots and lots of damage to it before it, like, I think the end stage is like cirrhosis or something of the liver, but there's it can handle a lot of damage, so it's constantly rebuilding. But if it's constantly taking a lot of damage, which my liver enzymes are somewhere high, they're all like, the lowest were at 350 and the highest were at like 700 or something, which is really bad, and, there's, like I said, I drink a lot of water, I eat small meals, but a lot throughout the day to just try to maintain, like, appetite and energy. And yeah, I don't eat sugary stuff, try to have whole foods, not a lot of processed stuff, things like that. And it has helped in general, you can definitely feel the difference, but, overall, if I could describe, like, how I actually feel when I wake up, it reminds me of, like, a really bad hangover, but one that with each day it gets worse and worse and doesn't really go away throughout the day. It just kind of, but
I see some people in the chat mentioning eating liver. I've heard this. Of course, none of us are doctors, so do your own research. But are you trying even adventurous things like that? Like, I have heard that before. Eating liver is good for the liver. It makes sense.
I have not tried that yet. No, I mean, that's interesting. I might give that a look.
A bunch of people in the chat are saying chicken liver tastes the best. I've had chicken liver before. I think I've had beef liver. I can't remember. They're also saying turkey liver. Of course, like, this is just a normal thing people eat, so I don't think it's a crazy suggestion to maybe try it. There's
Yeah.
something that came up on a few weeks ago on a stream. There was somebody who had some mysterious medical conditions, and I mentioned something to them that they hadn't heard of before. That I don't know if they're trying it, and I'm not telling you to do this. Look into it. I don't think there's any way to hurt yourself on this. This is actually, I'm going to send you a government website here on this therapy. Are you familiar with the Gerson therapy? Have you looked into that?
I've not heard of it, no.
You've never heard of it. Okay, so this is interesting. You can do this at home. There's also some treatment facilities. I know there's one in Mexico. I'm guessing you can't move to Mexico. A lot of people can't go there for treatment, but they started in Mexico by I believe Max Gerson was an MD, wasn't he? Let's see. Yeah, Dr. Max B. Gerson. Yeah, he was a doctor, and he invented this. I'm reading this from the government website. I'm gonna put this link in the chat for anybody who might be interested. This is a juice diet. I'll just go ahead and say that before I say any more. This is a juice diet, and if you do this, you drink like, I've never done this, but I've always said if I wound up with some like mysterious medical condition and nobody had the answers, I would try this because I've watched a few documentaries on this. I've read a book or two on this, and that is the extent of my knowledge. So please do your own research. But it's just juice. Like, I mean, there have been.
It sounds like a detox sort of thing to suss out like certain issues that may occur with like, not, or with fasting or whatever it is with fold.
That's right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So
well, I
I'm
have
gonna
not
put this in
tried
the chat
that.
for you.
Okay.
The Gerson therapy. It's an intense. Now, don't get me wrong. This is an intense juice diet. It's not cheap, and it's not light. Like they want you to drink. I'm gonna get the number wrong, but they want you to drink like 20 something juices a day, cold pressed, fresh. It would require you to get some kind of juicer, a cold pressed juicer, and a bunch of produce. Okay, good. So that's one thing down. I'm putting this in the link for you. This link for you in the chat is to a government website, a .gov website. It's actually cancer.gov on the Gerson therapy. I'm amazed that this web page exists because for a long time, from what I understand, the government was not supporting this for the longest time because they wanted you to presumably they wanted you to take some pharmaceuticals or go to a hospital. So I was really surprised to see that this .gov website or this web page about the Gerson therapy exists. I think they probably couldn't avoid it. I mean, this thing is so safe. I mean, they say so on their own website that where is this place? I'm looking for death. Here we go. This is from the .gov website I just put in there. Have any side effects or risks been reported from use of the Gerson therapy? Answer. Reports of 3 deaths that may be related to coffee enemas have been published. And it goes into a little more detail. But they say 3 deaths that aren't even, they seem more likely due to coffee enemas, which is...
Yeah, I've actually heard about those being an issue.
Yeah, but my point is, this seems to be a very safe... I'm also going to plug take this chance to plug the Gerson therapy documentary, which is awesome. I'll put this in the chat for you so you can watch this. There's 2. Which one? I believe I saw The Beautiful Truth. I saw this in 2008, so it must have been The Beautiful Truth because that's when this one came out. There's 2 of them. One's called The Gerson Miracle. It came out earlier. It was made by Gerson's daughter, I believe. And then The Beautiful Truth came out as the Gerson therapy was getting a little more popular. So I'm putting these documentary links for you in the chat. The first one is the one I saw, The Beautiful Truth. Stand by. This guy is amazing. Max Gerson. He invented the Gerson therapy to cure his migraines because he had these migraines and he couldn't figure out why he had them, and he couldn't find any other doctors who could tell him why he had them, and he is the doctor. And so he developed this juice diet that cured his migraines, and then he started recommending it to other people. He's like, hey, this cured my migraines, and then like hundreds of people were like, this cured my migraines, and then they went on to find like a decade later that it actually cured tuberculosis in many different people. If you watch these I'm just reporting these documentaries. Do your own research, but again, it's just
Yeah.
juice. It's not like I'm telling you to go get on some pills or something. The
Yeah, no.
Gerson Miracle. Wonderful movies, if nothing else. But I'm really sorry to hear about what you're going through. That sounds rough.
Yeah, I did. I thought about it too, and actually, I do realize the reason that I called, and it was because I'm afraid that if I do pass away from whatever's going on, that it might be alone. And that's what I've been like kind of trying to deal with and prepare myself for. So that's the reason why I'm so upset,
Right. Well, you were going through a lot, so it's understandable that you're feeling down. I don't know what that feels like to have so many medical mysteries.
Yeah.
Perhaps one day I will. None of us know these things.
Well, hopefully not.
Well, my point is that none of us can know these things. Nobody knows what's in the future.
No.
Nobody knows what lies ahead for each of us. So, we just try to be grateful for one day at a time. I hope you understand everything I've said tonight has been zeroed in on the idea that you mentioned earlier about, you mentioned you weren't suicidal, but you're just losing the zest for life. You're losing the drive for life. And I wonder what could help you get that back. I mean, you're going through a lot, so it's understandable. And yet, you might do some thinking on why it is. I still have the question why it is that you feel lucky to have the girl in your life still. Maybe lucky. Maybe it's just. Maybe I'm looking into that too much. Maybe you just feel grateful that there weren't any hard feelings. But maybe make sure that there's nothing deeper to it than that. Maybe make sure that it's not like some self-deprecation that is making you feel lucky about that, because to me it sounds really like a really hard time to lose a partner, even if they're young.
Well, I appreciate you listening. This is really nice, actually, calling in and everything. And I just want to say thank you, and thank you to the chat as well for all the help. Try some liver sometime. Also, you're awesome, and I love Jeffrey Dallas. He's my favorite character. I just wanted to say that.
I will pass on the word.
All right.
He might be back.
I hope so.
Thank you for calling and sharing. I really appreciate it. You can call again anytime. I appreciated the way you shared. I'm sorry to hear about everything you're going through. Of course, none of us here can fix your problems, but you can call again anytime and vent or give us an update, and I would love either of those.
All right. Well, thank you, Julian.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, chat, we are about 2/3 of the way through this stream tonight. If you're just joining, we have taken 2 calls. We had someone call in earlier dealing with some sexual harassment in the workplace and some repercussions for sticking up for a colleague, and the last person was calling about some health issues. I did see some questions about those things in the chat while I was on the calls, and couldn't find a good time to give anybody a recap on what was going on. But we have some more calls coming in, so we're going to dive right back in. Hello, thanks for calling.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you tonight?
I'm okay. I wanted to talk about some mental health struggles and sort of how that has gone over with my family and sort of just dealing with that stuff. So, should I just get into it? Or?
Yeah, can we start with your age and then you can
give us
maybe
18.
a brief intro? All right.
Yeah.
And what's going on with your mental health and your family?
So, yeah, I've struggled with issues like this for maybe since I was 12, but maybe younger. But yeah, I've sort of dealt with like depression, anxiety, and eating disorders, that sort of thing. And um, I've I've sort of like hidden it from my family for all my life. And so I have two siblings, and there's sort of the whole dynamic with when you have like when you're a middle child and have two siblings, where it's sort of like there's the golden child, and then there's the invisible child, and then there's like the problem child. And so all the attention is going to my siblings. And so my parents are always super proud of my older brother and like everything he's done. And then my younger brother, he needs help with all these things. And so it just kind of leaves me there. And I don't know, also when you're a girl, you tend to get told that you're being dramatic whenever you're just trying to like ask for help, and so you sort of learn to keep that stuff to yourself. And there have been several points in my life where I've sort of like literally cried for help, like I trigger warning, attempted suicide when I was 14, and like nobody even knows, and it's difficult, I don't know, feeling ignored constantly. And yeah, like there have been multiple times where I've just sat down with my parents and just like sobbed and was like, I need help, but I get told I'm overreacting, and that like it's normal, like everybody's feeling like this. It's part of growing up, and like just sort of glossed over. And yeah, that sort of led me to internalize a lot and do everything by myself. And I sort of have issues with asking for help because of that, So yeah, I don't know, just navigating that is hard. And feeling like alone, and like no matter what I say, I'm going to be told I'm overreacting. It actually took my boyfriend to back me up for like, and to tell my parents that I need to get medication. Like it took another person who happened to be like a dude, backing me up, saying she needs help. I've been there for her depressive episodes. Like I won't tolerate this anymore. The fact that me testifying for myself is not enough for them. Yes, it did. So I am now medicated. Mm-hmm.
Because your boyfriend.
But,
wow.
Yeah, literally another person. It's just, it sucks not being believed,
So you really are the invisible child.
Yeah, no. Middle child syndrome is a real thing.
What is that? What is that? It must be, I'm not a middle child, but I mean, I guess like it must be when there's three, there's one and then two, and maybe the second follows the older one because it's like the only example they have, and then the third one wants to rebel on average, maybe because they're like, oh, I'm gonna buck this system.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, it must be something like that. So on one hand, it seems like, I don't know if that feels right to you, but I'm just trying to make sense of what that is, because I've heard people say that, but I've always wondered. And I wonder if it's like something about how it sounds like it's on your parents. Like they don't. It sounds like they don't believe you because you've been so chill your whole life, and you've been going with the flow on things. And so when you do have an issue, they're like, yeah, well, that doesn't sound like the child we know.
Yeah, overreacting. And I've always, as far as they've known, I've always been like super shy and like to myself. And if there was a problem, which usually was like a very, very minor one, I would like say something, But yeah, and they've gotten like clues and like hints that I wasn't okay, you know, but it was so easy to like lie to them about it. Like they would believe me. Like I got I don't know, somebody in my, this was forever ago, in middle school, like reported me for having like self-harm scars on my arm, right? And yeah, like they called my parents, and then I got home and lied to my mom about it after she had received the call, and she believed me and didn't ask about it again, you know? And like it sucks because my parents are great, and I'm sure if I told them about this, they would feel so sorry. And like I don't know, now that I'm older, like I think they'll have an easier time believing me, but also part of me doesn't even want to tell them because they weren't there during like the worst parts of my life, and now that I'm not there anymore, I don't feel like they deserve to know, you know?
What is that? Is it self-protection? Is it spite? Is it what is it
Um,
that would keep you from letting your parents in on that?
I think it's a combination of both. Like, I don't want to be told I'm overreacting again. Like, I don't think I could
Mm-hmm.
mentally handle that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't want that to happen. I also just, it's sort of a pride thing because I've gotten this far on my own. You know, like
Right,
nobody else was there for me. Like, I did this myself, you know, and so why do I need them now?
right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, and
on
like
one
even,
hand, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, even like, um, I was talking to my brother's girlfriend the other day. She's also a middle child. She like understands this sort of thing and has a similar dynamic with her family. And she had to like tell my older brother um, that like I wasn't overreacting, and like I don't know why why it takes other people validating me to be believed. You know, like why is my word not enough? That's sort of my question. You know.
Right. Yeah. Of course, none of us here can answer that for you. Um,
Mhm.
but I mean, props to you. You got right to the question. You're 18 and
Mhm.
you already know the question. That's a huge feat. You're 18 and you don't have you don't have questions about what the questions are. You have questions you want answering. You're looking for answers, very specific ones. Um,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
I would say that's
That was
props to you, and that sounds like somebody
thank you.
who has been through this long enough to actually process it for enough time
Mhm.
to, I mean, that's what
Yeah.
leads us to the questions is processing something for a long time. It takes a long time to get those
Mhm.
questions. So,
Mhm.
I would feel rest assured a little bit that at least that you have those specific questions
Yeah.
and that they are so specific. Um, of
Mhm.
course, like nothing, I will say, like, I'll speak to, I mean, if you're protecting yourself from your parents, then, like that's something that we all do, right? Like we all have to protect
Mhm.
ourselves. We can't just
Yeah.
like, like for crying out, let's get real basic. Clothes are protection. That's why we wear clothes.
Mhm.
It's like, nobody runs around naked all the time. Like, we basically,
Mhm.
um, yeah, we protect ourselves in different ways. So, I mean, protecting yourself is normal. Um,
Mhm.
and yet, the pride thing you mentioned, I think, is another great observation on your part. Again, especially at your age, like that is a reason that sometimes we do things that pride is not a great motivator for certain things. I don't think pride
Yeah.
is bad. We all take pride in things. As it's good to take pride in things. It shows you care about it. But being prideful or having pride to
Yeah.
the extent that it becomes spiteful or distancing from
Mhm.
other people, um, you
Yeah.
might be cognizant of that. You might process what that is because your parents might not know they're doing it. As
Yeah.
shitty as that might sound,
Yeah.
they might not know they're
Yeah.
doing it.
And both my siblings have also struggled with depression and anxiety, and the first time they had mentioned it, my parents' first response was to get them to the doctors and like figure those issues out. And like I had told them it was the same for me so many times. I actually one time had my brother sit down with me and my mom and like talk about it, and like she still was not like receptive. Like it was something like, oh, okay, like we'll figure that out, and then we just never talked about it again. You know, it just I don't know why my siblings are a priority over me. And yeah, like for some context, my parents worked with college students. That meant there were college students at my house all the time growing up, and it just felt like they cared for them more as their kids than they did for me, and looked out for them in a way that they didn't really for me. And I don't know, so just not really feeling supported the same way that my siblings did. And like my parents aren't like abusive or anything like that. Like they're great people. I don't know. I don't understand why the dynamic isn't the same, you know?
Sounds like you do know why the dynamic is the same. I mean, you explained it to us.
True.
I mean, maybe it will change in time. Maybe there is some kind of conversation you can have with your parents in time.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be time yet.
Yeah.
It might take time for them to realize that they've treated you that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And part of me is like, it's my fault for not speaking up, but I don't think it is. It's their fault for not looking hard enough. There were signs everywhere, and they sort of, I don't know, didn't care enough to look for them because they assumed I was always going to be okay, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Jonathan Jensen from the chat has something to say on behalf of parents, which might not be what you want to hear right now, but maybe it's some insight into how they're thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm open to it.
He says, I assume Jonathan, I assume you're a he. I think parents can often feel accused or like you're blaming them, which I don't think is an unfair thought for them to have. However, it's important to make it clear this isn't your intent. So maybe
Yeah.
there's some kind of letter you can write them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you take a lot of time writing it. Maybe you
Yeah.
write them several letters, you never send them. Maybe you write several journal entries that are basically just letters to your parents until you come out with something that you feel you could share with them. And maybe that letter turns into a conversation. Maybe you never send them the letter, but you write something that's short enough or some bullet points. Maybe eventually this journal entry gets distilled into some bullet points or something that you could go to them with and talk about. Something like that, where you could tell them that, like, hey, history shows that I've said things about how I feel and you've not listened the first time, and it's taken me getting other people, strangers to you, not even family members, to come to you and back me up before you listen. And I don't blame you for that, but I actually don't like the use of but in that scenario because it kind of negates it, you know. But you say something like, not only did it take these non-family members and historically to get me backed up to the point where you would listen, and also I don't judge you for that. Because I've always been very laid back and chill. So for me to have some loud needs might be a lot for you. Maybe you say some empathetic things like that to them eventually, where I don't know. I'm just giving you examples. I don't know exactly how you'd say this or what it is for you, but I'm just giving you some examples of things that might come out in time that would be healing. Because it sounds like you love your parents. It sounds like you don't judge them. It sounds like a relationship may still be possible. And some people can't have that relationship with their parents. Sometimes people come to a place where they can't have that. So the fact that you still want one says a lot about the relationship. It shows that a lot of maturity on your part, that you realize that they didn't know they were doing this to you, that they were, it seems like you've seen a lot of good in them with the way they treat your other siblings, so much so that you give them a lot of grace. And so I'd like to think a relationship still is possible, because of course nobody wants to, go no contact with their parents. Nobody wants that.
Yeah. And I'm honestly like not even looking for so much change necessarily, because, I'm leaving soon. Like I'm out of here. I'm, going into adulthood, being my own person outside of my family. It's just I am sort of struggling again with that like prideful part. Like I'm aware of it, but I'm like I got through this. Like what benefit would it be to talk to them and like let them know? But at the same time, like I don't know, maybe they do deserve to know because I don't think they would do this intentionally. I think they're just I don't know, not aware. Maybe they have two boys. They don't quite know how to parent me the same way. And I don't know. Like I think
Interesting observation.
I think it's important for them to I don't know that I was struggling really hard and like going through it. You know, I think it's I don't know, good for them to be aware that they almost like lost me. Like I feel like that's sort of like the heavy hitter there is like I could literally not be here right now. And I think they should know that.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's still difficult to I don't know, shut out the immature voice saying that like, you know what, I did it, I don't need them. But I know that's not true because they're still my parents. I still love them, and I want a relationship with them that can also like be an emotionally charged one at the same time. You know.
I just had a thought for you after you said, while you were saying that, something clicked. It could be that your parents don't take you seriously because they respect you so much. Maybe I'm just saying maybe they respect you more than your brothers. Maybe they think you're so wise and woke that you are overreacting when you have maybe they think when you have a bad moment, it's just a fleeting moment, and they, she's
Yeah.
fine. She's always been fine. She's so wise and woke, right? Maybe it's that. And if that's possible, then maybe there is some way after some time where you think through how best to approach it, where you could sit down with them in a very wise way, very gracious way, and tell them what you just told us. Like, I want to tell you these things because I feel like there are parts of me you don't know or understand because I've kept them from you, because I've felt they would not be understood, and I didn't want to put that on you. I didn't want to put anything on you too heavy, so I've kept these things from you. But I want you to know that I was suicidal when I was 14, because I felt invisible. And I want you to know that I made it through that on my own. And I want you to know that I don't judge you for the ways I was treated. I know you were doing the best you could, and maybe I didn't have the best ways or tools to approach you with these things at the time, but now I do, and I want you to know these things. This is just an example. I'm not saying you say these same exact things because I'm only regurgitating back to you the things I've heard you say. I'm sure there's millions of other components to this that you could weave into this, but I'm giving you an example framework of how this conversation might look, because it sounds like it's possible at least that maybe they respect you so much that they don't listen to you, if that makes sense. I know that sounds ludicrous, but it's possible. It's possible.
I think I agree. I guess growing up, because my siblings were always the ones getting in trouble, I was the one who, you know, followed the rules, like got straight A's, that sort of thing. And like, I don't know, just kind of the easygoing one, the one that didn't, you know, make any loud, just kept to herself, did what she was told. And so I think that sort of led them to believe that, you know, I don't know. Yeah, there wasn't really going to be any bumps in the road or anything like that, you know. But yeah, so I think, and like even now, it's still sort of that way where it's just assumed that I'm just gonna like, I don't know, breeze through life and not really have any issues, you know. Which I don't know why they think that, because you know everybody's human. But anyways, yeah, I think you're onto something with that. Yeah, I think before I leave, I will definitely have a conversation with them. Like that's why I'm calling, just trying to to figure out what I'm going to do with this, because it's something I've been thinking about for a while. It's something I've been sitting with and trying to process, and sort of like fight between the two, well, I guess multiple parts that are telling me different things to do. And, you know, some of them are more emotionally charged than others. Some of them are like very, like, I don't know. It feels like what I need to do in order to get some closure on that chapter in my life, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
You seem very level-headed and collected, despite what you've gone through. So props to you for that and the good processing you've done. Of course, like, just please know, like, I might not be right. Like, please just proceed with caution. Like, I don't want to mess up your life. I'm not telling you to do anything. But there are some similar thoughts in the chat. Sounds like there's a lot of good thoughts for you in the chat. We can't all be right, but you might revisit the chat tomorrow for some more food for thought.
Definitely.
And I'm wishing you the best in that conversation.
Thank you.
And you can call again anytime. Would love to hear a good update from you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for sharing. Good night.
Okay.
You too. Chat, we have 15 minutes left in this stream. I would feel reluctant to get into another call tonight. So instead, I'm going to pop into the Discord for a few minutes tonight to close out this time and just shoot the breeze with you guys. I'm sorry if that's a letdown to anybody, but because of the kind of stuff we get into here, I feel like it would be unfair to anyone and everyone to try to talk for 10 minutes. And then it takes a few minutes to wind the stream down, of course. So I hope that logic makes sense. That would leave like 10, 12 minutes for a conversation. It's not much time to learn really anything or hear anything. So I hope everybody understands, but I will get in the Discord for a few minutes once we wind the stream down. I want to make a couple of announcement reminders in case you missed the beginning of the stream. Do not miss tomorrow. There will be a stream tomorrow. I've discontinued Wednesday streams here for the time being, but tomorrow is an exception because this stream has been in the works. I've been working on putting this stream together for about a year, and I will take a second to share some context on that. My guests tomorrow will be Richard Elliott Friedman and Ron Hendel, not Don Hendel. I keep calling him Don on these streams late at night because it gets late and my R's become D's. It's not even a joke. It's just true. That's enough of that sound. But yeah, the point is that I have been dreaming of doing this stream for about a year. These are Bible scholars. One of them is an actual Bible scholar, and the other one is a Bible anthropologist. And the reason these two people both need to be there for tomorrow's conversation is because I have so many questions around early technology, and essentially the theme is science really at odds with the Torah? We will be talking about some Bible stuff tomorrow, but it's not like evangelicism. It's not about religion. It's more about like the world's very first history is the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible, starting with Genesis into Deuteronomy. So it's more of an inquiry into what these early technologies could have done to affect the early writings and what impact that had on society at large. Things like the alphabet, agriculture potentially, and some other things, as well as the potential crossover between the Younger Dryas, which is an amazing event that happened, this meteor impact that we believe caused a flood that seems oddly timed around the same exact time of the flood of Noah when it would have happened, according to these writings. So there's so much good stuff that will be discussed tomorrow, and I will either look like a complete jackass or it'll be amazing. It'll be amazing either way, that is to say, so don't miss that. And then I will be in Toronto this weekend for Buffer Festival, premiering something I've been working on for about 5 or 6 weeks now. Hundreds, if not thousands of hours have gone into this video. I'm so happy to be done with it as of today. I'm gonna applaud again because I'm so done. I'm so done. This one wore me out, guys. And you'll see why. It wore me out. I'm toast. I'm toast. And I'm toast again, and I'm toast. I'm so toast tonight. But I'm so glad it's done, and I can't wait to be in Toronto. I hope I'll see some of you there. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the Discord. We do these streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays, twice a week, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Thank you guys so much for being here and for your thoughts. Huge shout out to our mods. We were basically all mods tonight. Tonight we had Offcore, Deanna Krebs, Jake Cooper, Easy Cheesy, How many mods do we need? I mean, I love it. The more the merrier. There was no chance of any shenanigans tonight with these mods. We also had our OGest mods, all of them. So thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. And I will see you guys in the Discord for a few minutes now. And hope that... and King's Pawn. I forgot to mention King's Pawn. I'm sorry. King's Pawn as well. Another applause because I left King's Pawn out. King's Pawn is... I'm 99% sure I saw King's Pawn in this stream, so hope I'm not off base there. Yeah, King's Pawn's for sure here. Sorry, guys. My bad. But now I will be in the Discord, and hope you guys have a great night. And I will see you on tomorrow and Thursday. We got 2 streams here, and then I got to go to Canada. It'll be crazy. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Good night.